What's happening, weirdos? This is the return of Adam Ray, who, since we last talked to Adam, has become Dr. Phil. I don't know if you know that. He transformed magically into noted and celebrated therapist Dr. Phil. And he's on Netflix right now with Dr. Phil Unleashed. He's also on tour. These shows are hilarious. I've done them myself. They're so fun. Go to adamraycomedy.com. He's going to be in Las Vegas, San Francisco, Phoenix. A lot of shows in Phoenix, LA, Denver, Salt Lake City, Milwaukee. All of those are available at adamraycomedy.com. Those are his Dr. Phil live shows. Adam is also just one of the funniest and nicest people I know. I really, really enjoy him as a person, and every chance I get to talk with him, I enjoy very deeply. So let's get to it, as I always say, as quickly as possible. I want to say thank you to everybody who's been coming out to the live shows. Alpharetta, Georgia was awesome this past weekend. And if you'd like to see me live, these are my dates on PeteHolmes.com. We have Los Angeles at the Largo, which is going to be an awesome show. I'm very excited about that one on January 17th, followed by Salt Lake City, Phoenix, Arizona, Vancouver, British Columbia, Austin, Texas, and Nashville, Tennessee. All of those are available on PeteHolmes.com, and the tickets to the Largo ones are at largo-la.com, although there's a link on PeteHolmes.com as well. And because this is somewhat a shorter episode, we're going to shout out a couple of the Pete's picks up top. Sorry, got mumble mouth. So I don't know how your holiday season was, but if your gifts were a little bit of a letdown, like maybe you got a novelty toilet mug or maybe a callus remover instead of the incredible, amazing, comfortable, stylish, perfect fitting, perfect looking clothes you wanted from Chubbies, we'll fix that. Chubbies has you covered. Give yourself the gift of Chubbies and make up for that disappointing package underneath your holiday tree of choice. I personally love Chubbies. I'm obsessed with them. Their classic line swim trunk. I swim every day, and I love their classic line swim trunk. They get so many compliments when I'm doing my New Year's Day river cold plunge. Shout out. Then they look awesome, and they have, this is a game changer, a built-in boxer brief liner that is super comfy. A lot of bathing suits don't have that extra length to the liner, and it makes such a difference. They look amazing. And they feel amazing. And their lightweight and breathable polos are so comfortable, they make my other polos blush with embarrassment. And what's more versatile and easy go-to look than a polo? Or their everywhere pants, everywhere, W-E-A-R, the funniest pun in clothing. They're everywhere pants. They're so comfortable and perfect for every occasion, work or just a lazy day at home, live streaming yourself playing video games. Or if your New Year's resolution is the gym, their ultimate training shorts are perfect. That's what you want to be working out in. Your squats will look great, and you'll look great limping back to your car because you haven't done squats in 6 months. So for a limited time, you can use code WEIRDO at chubbyshorts.com, and you'll get 20% off. Don't miss out. Chubbies is here to help you take on 2025 in style, starting with the comfiest, most versatile gear you've ever worn. And for a limited time, our friends at Chubbies are giving us 20% off. Our listeners for 20% off with the promo code WEIRDO at chubbyshorts.com. That's 20% off your order with promo code WEIRDO. Support our show and tell them that we sent you. And no matter where the new year takes you, Chubbies has the gear to keep you comfortable and looking your best. We're also brought to us by our friends at MUDWTR. I am obsessed with MUDWTR because often in the middle of the afternoon, I want a kick, but I don't want more coffee, which is like licking a car battery. It's too much. It's jolty. MUDWTR is completely different. It's not just energy. It's energy in a warm, grounded feeling. Not too much caffeine. It's not jittery. It's earthy and solid. So when 3 p.m. rolls around, you can give yourself that extra boost without the jitters. MUDWTR is organic, gluten-free, and vegan coffee alternative that's so chock full of goodness, it's no wonder it makes you feel amazing. My energy is up, and even more important, my sleep is improved now that I'm getting more natural energy and drinking less coffee. Powered by functional mushrooms and superfoods to boost your energy, your focus, and your immune system, every ingredient in MUDWTR serves a purpose for a clean, natural boost, and their OG blend, which is what I like, contains their cacao and chai for a hint of caffeine, but also like a hot, chocolatey kind of flavor. It's awesome, hot. I also sometimes just throw it in my smoothie because I love the taste of it and I love the boost that it gives me. Lion's mane for focus, cordyceps for natural energy, and both chaga and reishi to support a healthy immune system. MUDWTR is like coffee's chill, yoga-loving cousin who just went on a spiritual retreat and came back wearing pink Crocs and won't stop telling everybody about it because they are zen without the chitters. They're zen without the jitters. Packed with adaptogens, antioxidants, and all those other fancy words that will make you feel superior to your coffee-drinking friends. Head to MUDWTR, MUDWTR. Who has time for vowels? MUDWTR, MUDWTR.com, and grab your starter kit. For a limited time, our listeners get 43%, up to 43% off your entire order, free shipping, and a free rechargeable frother when you use code WEIRD. That's up to 43% off your order with code WEIRD at MUDWTR.com. After your purchase, tell them we sent you. Please support our show. Tell them that you got it from this one. Stay energized and refreshed all new year long, because life is too short for anything less than natural, delicious energy. All right, everybody, enjoy Adam Ray.
If Gail holds it, Oprah molds it. And if Oprah molds it, the mold wine. Never mind.
They can't still be friends.
Who, Gail and Phil?
Oprah and
Phil. Why?
I just feel like they're maybe.
Look, settle in. Don't feel like you have to hit this one out of the park. Just get cozy, get comfy.
Oh, are we taping this?
We're filming. We're filming. I want you. Okay. You always let me open with this before you tell me why Dr. Phil and Oprah cover the dick. We all get a semi walking in. We all get that. I'm about to be on You Made It Weird pre-bone. It's a thing. You pre-boning it, Bo?
Pre-boning it.
Bo. Call you Bo.
Call me whatever.
Bo. I want to say,
yes,
you're one of those guys. You're so funny.
Thanks, Pete.
You're so nice.
Thanks, Pete.
I always love seeing you.
Likewise.
And I know you're of the Jewish persuasion, which is funny because
Well,
I
gave
think
it
of
away.
you. I think
I'm
of you
dressed like
as,
I'm going to everybody's bar mitzvah right now.
I think of you as deep Italian.
Really?
Deep Italian.
God, I wish. I do love a good meatball.
Yeah. You look like
Which is what an Italian would say.
they love
a
working in a round meat. Working in a round meat.
We'll keep it in. Isn't there something about when people go, I just said I love a good meatball. Like,
Yeah.
If I just said I love a meatball, it's implied that you love
A good meatball.
Right.
Like ATM machine.
It's almost
The Emma's machine. You love it.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at a good meatball.
Yeah.
I do miss a meatball. I don't eat meat no more. And the most fun way to eat
Nobody's
meat.
perfect.
I'm gonna put it. Look,
You
this
feel
is
better. You feel better.
What's that?
You've probably done all the research of why it's
Why?
Yeah.
You know, I went back for a year and I was like, fuck this shit.
Didn't
for
miss
real.
it.
I was like, but I gave it a full year of just kind of like trying to be healthier and eating chicken like all the fucking cut people, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, this fucking sucks.
Everybody that just eats chicken is pretty svelte, yeah?
Isn't that code for steroids?
Yep.
Zero hesitation. You can cheers it. You hit that ball back with zero hesitation. That's one of my favorite. Dude, I actually wrote it down. I've never asked somebody. I wrote conspiracy. What's your favorite conspiracy? Whether or not you believe in it, like you kind of believe in it.
Ooh.
And we already tripped into one, which is on the internet.
Yeah.
If celebrities say, how did you get so buff? And they say broccoli and chicken breast, that's code for
I think so.
human growth hormone
Yes.
and steroids.
Yes.
Which aren't even like Joe Rogan does steroids, I believe.
Has to, yeah.
I think he does.
Yes.
Like I think he's open about it. That's not shots
Yeah.
fired. I think some people are just like, yeah, you can't get a certain size without it.
I don't think the human body is I think our boy Dwayne Johnson, your body, the human body at a certain age.
He's my height.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude. I didn't mean
Same
to
body.
interrupt. Well, one of us is slightly.
Nice. That's fun.
Is this good?
Somebody has a good time with that.
My pubes didn't show, did they? Don't think
That's
about
not
it.
Bobby,
Don't
yeah.
play it back.
That's not Bobby Lee.
Don't play it back. Bobby Lee.
Bobby shows it. I
We've
remember
all
the-
seen the chemtrails, Bobby.
I toured with Bobby. That was the first guy I went on the road with, and I saw his wiener more than I saw my own.
So you're the tell-all book we've been waiting for.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure everyone's got a handful of Bobby Lee stories, but
Yeah.
the road is where you, and you can attest to this better than anyone, that's where you get to know yourself, but get to know whoever you're with, really.
For real.
If you want to. I mean,
And you and your opener start to merge.
yeah.
And it goes both ways.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I want to shout out Matt McCarthy, who's been opening for me for over a year now. And this is one of the most loving things. He had a line. It's kind of like I wouldn't say it's like a basic line, but it's sort of like a anybody line. This is going to lead to some awkward car rides home.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You can other comedians use that. It's not like, but he was using it. And then I had a bit where it was perfect, and where he had it, it was only It was sort of optional, and he let me have it.
Wow.
And then I'm giving him tags, but then you
Cool.
hear like the voices.
The voices
they
are-
should.
Yeah.
They should merge a little bit. That's it's like all girls dorm.
Yeah.
Sync up. There's your clip. I'm just kidding.
Do guys have an equivalent? Is that our equivalent of syncing up?
Well, guys jay it on the same schedule, which
There
is
we go.
every day.
Yes. We'll be right back.
People on the audio only will
Guys
think.
jerk it at the same. You don't realize you're doing it right now.
Yep.
The way we're talking, there's two guys out there jerking at the same time,
In the same rhythm.
in the same rhythm, in the same room.
They're only jerking it
but
when you're
facing the other way.
Of course. Well,
okay. I haven't been everywhere.
I can't. I am not. What is that called? It's when you locate in two places. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Time traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You brought up The Rock. I just love that you had. This goes back to my original compliment about you.
Yeah.
Always fun, always funny, and a mensch. That's why I was going to say you're of the Jewish
Oh,
persuasion.
yes,
because I was
yes,
going to
yes.
call you a mensch.
Yes.
But the times when I've had things to promote and stuff, you reach out.
Oh yeah.
So sweet.
Well, I mean, you are. It's wild. This business is wild. As I look at a picture of Steve Martin, Wild and Crazy Kids.
That's right.
Or Wild and Crazy Guys. Wild and Crazy Kids was a Nickelodeon show. Wow. I just put Steve Martin in the same boat as
My
Omar
favorite-
Gooding from Wild and Crazy Kids. And
My
Donnie
favorite Steve
Jeffco.
Martin
Let me say
album?
all the cast.
All that.
Did you watch Wild and Crazy Kids?
No, never heard of it.
It was a show on Nickelodeon. Katie remembers. What Wild and Crazy Kids. Great theme song. It was more than that. Yeah, your face is correct. But it was catchier than that. The same guy that sang that sang, I think, the Full House and the Step by Step one.
Oh,
But
that guy.
It was basically Donnie.
Whatever happened to predictability?
Yep. And then he did Family Matters.
It's a rare condition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. But love and condition are the fair desire. Some people say is even harder to find.
Well, then there must be some magic clue inside these little walls. And all I see is the Tower of Dreams. Real love bursting out of every stream. Days go by.
It's the longest drum fill of all time. It's the bag of love and the family. Yeah, thanks for bringing that out.
Oh, man, that takes a lot out of you.
I was going to say you've been working too much.
Yeah.
And
if
we
one
all-
round of the Family Matters theme takes it out of you, it's time to go to bed.
That's the new test, the fatigue test.
The fatigue test.
Sometimes they'll have you blow into something. You're a little bit young. You're 42, so you're 3 years younger than me. And sometimes as you get older, they're like, blow in this. And you're like, I'm going to blow in this. And you blow in it and you feel like you're going to die. And they're
Yeah.
like, your cellular age is 82. And you're like,
What does that mean? Like
I
your
blew
expectancy?
bad. No, I blew pretty good.
Good.
I blew okay. I think I blew. I either blew a 26-year-old or I blew with the strength of a 26-year-old.
Wow.
I don't know if it was 26, but anyway, The Rock is my size.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of time. We got to hit the hits.
Where you're fine. The Rock
Here's
is
your clip. The Rock.
The Rock.
Be a clip.
I did do a Barstool sports podcast, and they're real clip heavy and clickbaity. And I told one story about it. It was when I was doing Young Rock and playing Vince McMahon on a show, and one of the hosts goes, he's like, dude, The Rock just is like everywhere all the time. Like he's probably a serial killer. And I was like, yeah, I mean, and just kind of, he said it in a way where I was like, are you trying to like tee me up to jump in on this? But then I
Yeah.
just go, in true yes and fashion, I just go, yeah, I mean, if he was, I bet he'd be really good at it because the guy's good at everything. Said something like that. And
Right.
then I was like, anyway, back to when my parents left and, or whatever we're talking about. And it was a comedy podcast. And then the title of the episode was Adam Ray Says Rock's a Serial Killer. And I had just started to become friends with Dwayne. And so I shot the kid a message. I was like, I mean, we did a 3-hour podcast. Is there a different title you could come up with that? Like maybe that Price is Right story I told about rushing the stage when I was in college and doing the robot behind Bob Barker and getting in the person's Escalade and pretending to drive it during the Sweeps Week $1 Million episode they played on a Tuesday at 8 p.m. instead of 11 a.m. on a Wednesday. And maybe Adam Price is Right stage, you know what I'm saying? And just no response. But then they did change the title.
So, but you went to Price is Right as a fan?
Yes. Yes. Well, I mean, that's
as a young boy.
For sure. I remember watching that show in my grandparents' house in Ada, Oklahoma when I was a kid and being like, this show is unbelievable. Bob Barker was a phenomenal
He's awesome.
host. Really just he was an old school host in present time, but like, even as you look at hosts now, you're like, you're not Bob Barker.
Yeah, he carried the flame forward.
Yeah,
and he was of a different time, but not in an out of touch way.
No,
but even as like spay and neuter your pets, even that seemed kind of like quaint.
Totally,
like that's your issue.
Yeah,
too many fucking cats out here. That is the most 1937 issue.
Totally.
There's too many dogs at the park.
Israel, Palestine, world hunger, school shootings.
Spade.
No.
Spade and neuter.
Too many dogs and cats.
You can't just say fix your cats and dogs. You're going to say spay and neuter.
Yeah.
The ladies get spayed. The boys get neutered. Just say fucking fix those fucking bitches.
Chop off the clits and the dicks.
Oh, boy.
Have a great Sunday.
Have a great Sunday. This episode dropped on a Thursday at 8 p.m. So you're in the audience.
I'm in the audience.
You got a name tag. You're hoping to be called.
Oh, yeah. We went through a group. It was a group from my fraternity. I went to acting school at USC in LA, and there was a group from my fraternity that wanted to go. And if you get 20 or more people to go, one person is guaranteed to be on contestants row.
What?
Yeah.
Are
so
you fucking
they call up
shutting
if
up
20
the
or more,
fuck
they'll
right
call
now?
one from your, because it's probably a 300-seat studio audience, maybe less. It feels like the Improv main showroom. It's about maybe even 250. It's pretty small. It's like, remember going to Toys R Us as an adult? There's a better way to phrase that question. Do you remember going to Toys R Us when you were not a kid?
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah.
Working as Jeffrey.
Yes. And no, you weren't.
Did a few summers as Jeffrey.
I got a little starstruck.
I'm just kidding. I know you're Wolverine, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not here to pretend I'm out there with better game
But
than
Jeffrey was always a little sus, though. Every commercial, he's skipping out of the store hand in hand with 8 kids. And all the parents are just like, oh, Jeffrey being Jeffrey. You're like, that's a broad daylight kidnapping, Sharon. It's always Sharon that
with
says nothing.
those two fucking little Martian giraffes have little Martian ears on the top.
Yes, and it wasn't like a Jim Henson's Creature Shop.
No, it was a guy.
It was a guy.
Like it's so clearly
with a giraffe
guy.
nose.
That's a guy.
Yeah, that's a guy.
Jim Henson was like, "Oh my god, he brought it to life." The Jeffrey costume, we're like, "Is that Bill?" I can tell by the shape of it. That's Bill.
He works
Creepy
there,
Bill.
right?
That's creepy Bill from the warehouse. Yeah.
Oh no.
He wanted to be tall today.
He likes to dress up.
What can you say?
He made the costumes like, oh, we can tell.
And also the fact that Toys R Us with the backwards R also feels pandering. Like, we're like you. Come in, be comfortable.
Yeah, it's wacky in here.
It's weird, and there's toys. It's fucking one click away from the Neverland Ranch.
Oh, it really was.
Shots fired.
They gave you the shopping spree. Did you ever want to do that as a kid?
When
you were growing up in Chicago, right?
I started comedy in Chicago, Boston.
Boston, that's right. My bad. When you were growing up in Boston, did what was the kid thing that you know? For me, it was going on Double Dare. I wanted to go on Double Dare as a kid.
The earliest I noticed that my family was different from other families was when I saw the families on Double Dare, and you got the dad digging up the nose looking for the flag. I'm like, my dad would stare at Mark Summers and be like, "You think you're going to degrade me on television, big guy?" And punch him in the balls and be like, "You get an all-expense paid trip to Paintown."
Oh my God, to Paintown.
Yeah. And he paid for it too. He drops 320s on Mark Summers' quivering body in a bowl of snot. And he's like, "Fuck you." But honestly, no joke. First of all, hot tip, and I'll say it every time I think of it. The best show, I find getting stoned, and then you're looking for something to watch.
Oh, yeah.
And it's never right. You get it. I don't know about you. I'll get in like a stoned way where you're like, I know there's something better. I know there's something better.
Yeah.
The answer is Family Double Dare. That's the best.
YouTube highlights or what?
Any way you can find it.
Yeah.
It's like, please, man, just give me some Family DD.
Well, and old Mark Summers was really shooting from the hip.
He's fucking out there.
Do you know he came on the Dr. Phil live show at the Comedy Store? I reached out to him cold call on Instagram about 12 years ago and asked him to come to the podcast when little Brad Williams and I were doing it. He came to my old apartment. And when I say Brad, I go Brad, and then I always go like this, even before people go.
I
and
see.
And I realize why I started doing it is because people go, who? And I go, Brad, and they go, oh yeah. And it's a paint the picture move.
I get it.
Yeah.
You saw me mug because I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But then really it's just a fact. He's a little person.
And I'm telling the story. I'm just trying to quickly get you on board. So
and
like,
yet here
Brad
I
Williams.
am junking up the trunk anyway. I'm like, you mean the little person, Brad?
Yes. Love Brad. Brad,
bring him out.
Bring him out. And the amount of times we've done that joke. Although what I do love about Brad is how quickly he puts it on himself so that everybody else is comfortable. That's a home run move.
He's a home run.
Yeah, a home run. And he, Mark Summers comes over our place. We do the pod. A lot of fun. He tells all these great Comedy Store stories. He used to host the potluck at the store. So he was there with Robin and Pryor and Roseanne and Jay and Dave. Wild. And so that's why I think even, when he went on Leno's show later on down the line with that classic Burt Reynolds clip where Burt throws his water on Mark and Mark was like, yeah, made some crack. Have you not seen this?
Of course I have.
Yeah.
What am I?
An amazing piece of cinema history. But
I forget what sets it off. Like, doesn't Burt? It's perfect.
he makes a
for
comment
Mark.
about like he's just shitting on like kind of the
Burt
nerdy.
Reynolds shits on
Yes.
Mark,
and he makes
Mark
a comment
stands
about
up
how
for
you
himself.
lost your
His wife.
Yeah,
He goes right to the wife.
Your wife left. Right
and
to the
there's
wife.
Burt, who looks like a concealed carry permit.
And they cut to a close up, and he just goes,
yeah. He can't. It
And
will
you-
not stand.
no. And then something else happened, and then he made another crack, and then it was.
It's off.
And then what did he do? He shoved him, or he did.
He threw his water in his face.
But then Mark. Then Mark threw his.
then Mark
back.
threw his back, and he gets him.
Burt Reynolds would have, I think, beat the fuck out of him. He was a big dude.
You mean if they went at it?
If they went
like
at
it
it.
was like ding ding.
Yeah, wow,
No, Mark.
stop.
With full respect.
Yeah.
Mark is.
A little guy.
He's a little guy.
Yeah, maybe
I
packs a
think.
punch.
I wouldn't put it past him.
I will say this: he packs a punch verbally. So he comes on the. I hit him up.
You're such a bro.
12.
I'm like your mom. Look at you, Adam. You're doing it. You're such a podcast.
I was told I could tell my Mark Summer story in full, in its entirety, on the You Made It Weird podcast.
Do it.
I hit up Mark 12 years later, and I go, because with this show, as you brilliantly, again, just to throw back some flowers. Why I love you so much, Peter, and I've always been such a fan and I was starting to say this when I started talking about Wild and Crazy Kids, but being in this business and being fans and now friends with people is so wild to me. And you are just as funny as you were when I was a fan of you, and I mean, better, which hopefully that's always the case, right? You just grow and you're getting better on all fronts.
Yeah.
But you're the ultimate down to play yes-ander, but adds, but doesn't like... I mean, you were so good on the Dr. Phil live show at the store, but that almost pales in comparison to when I had you do an Adam Ray and Friends show, and I was like, I'm actually going to dress up like this character, this nerdy guy, and host the show.
I forgot about
Remember that song we sang?
We sang, and you ended it, and we're up there improvising a song.
Yeah.
By the way, is it on YouTube?
It's all on YouTube. It's called Jeremy's House.
So we're singing
Awful,
this
yeah.
song. We're singing the song, and I'm loving singing the song.
Yeah. And it's
But
pretty, too. The harmony
it's
was great.
pretty. It's pretty.
Fuck you, Dad. Was like, yeah, we got to one point.
Yeah. And there's like kind of a real emotion,
Yeah.
or like there's something relatable to it. And I'm going, how are we going to end it?
Yeah.
And you end it.
Yeah.
You end it by going.
Yeah.
I wish you were still alive. Pete Holmes, everybody.
And we'll cut
Yeah,
to it
yeah,
there.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you say, I wish you
Yeah.
were still alive. And in that moment,
You got you.
there's like a real look. I'm not saying it's like war, but there's a foxhole bonding when you're both on the line and
Oh,
you're
yeah.
being stupid, and someone like dives on the grenade and ends the
Totally.
bit. They do it.
But you're just so funny, man. Like,
Oh, thanks.
for lack of a better, like, I know that's just
No, that's the best
You were so
thing
funny, but it was
to say.
And when can be so comfy to be locked into me and not feel like I have the best is when you are like, and I always say this too for the Phil shows that people are like, do I have to prep anything? I go, treat me as Phil. I'm driving the wheel, but you can take it at any time.
Yeah.
And like, but I'll always keep it. Just feel safe to do and be whoever. But like, I don't feel like I'm not capable of ever steering it out of anything or it back onto something.
Which is
And-
your gift. And that's why the special is
thanks.
so great. And you do it.
Oh, thanks,
It's
man.
so great.
Oh,
Because I'm
thanks,
like,
man.
it's on the line.
Yeah.
But you do it for YouTube over and over and over.
Yeah, yeah.
But you did it that night as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
a great job. Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil, yeah. Unleashed on Netflix. Did you watch? You did watch it.
I did.
What'd you think of him?
I thought he was great.
Down to clown.
I thought he was down to clown, and I thought he played it perfectly because
Yeah.
he's kind of wearing two different shoes.
Totally.
but I thought he did a great job. But I thought you did a great job.
Thanks, brother.
And I also admired your courage to like, you know, you didn't water it down.
Yeah.
When you were talking to him.
Oh, yeah.
You were like, I'll make a jizz joke right to your fucking face. And
Yeah,
I
you
was
ever
like,
watch a video of a monkey firing off a load in a kid's face?
I'll send you a link was one of my favorite lines. I'll send you a link. But also not just because it was funny, but it was so you. So there's like it's like watching a perfect golf swing. You're just like, oh, he got in the zone and you did it. So congrats. So people should watch it. It's on Hulu now.
On Hulu now. Moved it over. Yeah, went from
That's
Netflix
the headline. Adam Ray says his special's on Hulu. Serial killer Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Okay, finish. Double Dare.
Double Dare. So Summers,
the Mark Summers story.
Summers comes on. I hit him up 12 years later. I go, oh, let me just see if this is still his number. Trying to add elements it's my favorite part about doing the show. It's just like each time trying to figure out ways to add other parts. And it's really just creating from the ground up and trying to make it not so much a variety show, but just, I mean, there is a piece to that. I mean, the one we just did last week at the Comedy Store, we built a whole holiday set and we had a surprise guest door. And we had Jay Leno come out first, who hadn't been to the store in 30 years.
Wow.
And that was his last time back. He had a wrist guard and because he had just had a spill.
I'm just looking for my car keys. He finds them. Big old fucking Cadillac car keys. That's still here.
We did a game where I put up pictures of cars, and I go, you're a big car guy, so I want to see if you can recognize some of these famous automobiles. First one was the Scooby and the Gang van. And I thought he'd say, like, it's Scooby-Doo. He goes, it's a 1942. He gives the year of the car, and I go, no, that's actually Diddy's Lube limo. And so I had a joke for each thing that whether he said it
or not.
Yeah, or not. And at one time he said it was a Ninja Turtles car, and he goes, that looks like your car. I go, I do drive a 1992 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. And
it's a standard.
Yeah, and then... and so we did that for a bit, but when he came out, he had a wrist guard, and he made some crack to me. I can't remember what it was right away, right out of the gate. So I was like, all right, I like this. But then I just go, Jay, you keep that. I go, you keep lipping off. I'm going to break your other fucking wrist in front of my family. And that got a big pop, and I died laughing. He goes, all right, it's your shot. Yeah. And then he told a great story about, this episode comes out on December 17th. It's going to be 2 parts because it was 2 hours.
Wow.
It was Jay Leno, Wayne Brady, who I know we both love.
Yeah.
Wayne and I sang a song, then did an improv Who's Line game. Then Jaleel White came out. I smoked some of his...
Jaleel White?
It's my boy. He smoked some of his Purple Urkel weed, got very high. That was a great through line through the episode.
You got Urkel?
Yep. Then Harry Mack comes out, the freestyle rapper. He's unreal.
Just ask me the last time I cried, and it's when I watch his videos. I find them very emotional.
I love that.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, dude.
When you watch someone...
When
you watch a
mind-blowing.
boat going in the water, you know what I mean? It's as natural as a
Great way to put it.
waterfall
Yes.
or a sunrise. When you see someone
Pop-Tart comes out of the toaster in slow motion.
Yes! And it's just like some specks of crumb come off of it,
Great.
and you're like, it's going to be a great morning.
Yes.
That's how I feel when I watch Harry Mack freestyle. I get very emotional.
Wow.
Because anyone doing exactly what they should be doing makes me emotional.
Great way to put that,
Yeah.
dude.
He found his thing.
And he's so fucking nice, and normal, which is even more crazy.
Is he out here?
Yeah.
Player, guess what I'm going to bother you for?
Oh yeah, dude. He's wild, and he did. We had a guy dress up as the Grinch. This guy named Zach Justice hit me up on Instagram. Millions of followers. My niece is obsessed with him. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there didn't know who he was. We looped up. I look at his show. I'm like, God, you're hilarious. He has full Grinch 3-hour makeup situation. He goes, if you ever want this on the show, I go, will you come on the holiday show? So we had the lights go out. He comes out as the Grinch, was hilarious. Coming out being like, yeah, I was there on January 6th. Like, it just like had a real solid point of view as the Grinch, and it was unbelievable. And we give him a pocket pussy because I go, it seems like no one's ever given you a present, right? So I give it to him, and he's like, and he's like, which way's the front? I go, if you have to ask that, put it back in the box and give it to a friend, you know? And then it was great. And then he goes, I go, the Christmas spirit isn't getting lifted up and out of you enough, so music helps. Bring out Harry Mack. Harry Mack leaves. Ding dong. There's a surprise guest at the door, and open it up, and it's Rob Riggle as Santa Claus. And Rob comes out. And maybe I now need to see a full-length feature as Rob. He was
Santa.
Oh my God, dude! I basically told him, I go, you're retiring, and we're gonna find the new Santa. So I go, but be the like hangover cop Rob, like just big energy, fun. You're like a fun dad, fun uncle. He goes, it's my swan song. It's my farewell tour. I go, exactly, dude. So he comes out. He's got some coke in his nose. We're gonna Coors Light. I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna go down to like Florida. I got a girl down there, you know. And he's just so dialed in. He's like, but I need a protege. I need a backup. I go, well, you need help? He's like, yeah, I got my head elf Leroy is up at the North Pole. We can't get him down. Flights are expensive. So I think if we all say, suck my Christmas 3 times, and everybody believes, but you got to believe, that he'll show up and we do it. Lights go down, ding dong. Brad comes out in full elf, snow machine, tossing candy canes in the crowd, and we.
Or as he knows them, canes. Come on, one little Brad joke.
Oh,
one little.
Yes, more. Do more. Brad has one for that. He goes, we were doing the pod once, and what did he say? He goes, and I was at the drinking fountain, or as you guys call it, the swimming pool.
I mean, one of the reasons why that genre of jokes is so upsetting to people is I think because they're too easy, but I couldn't resist.
Unbelievable. Or he calls him Kane. Yeah. Great. Great. Come on. Why would you not take that?
You got to take it because,
So he comes out and he helps Santa find the new Santa. We get somebody from the crowd. Jeremiah Watkins plays every episode he does a different guy. This one he was every mall Santa, so he was just a drunk Santa. And then the last one we need one more guy. Ding dong, Tony Hawk comes out. And he skateboards out. And then 3 stunts. One was Christmas trivia. One was I sit on their lap and see how they deal with receiving a Christmas wish. And then the last one was like do an ollie or something. And so Tony clearly wins that. And but so like that type of shit for each show, I'm just trying to make it as different and just make it a fun live show. I've always, after I saw Mulaney and Kroll's Oh Hello or Will Ferrell's Bush thing, I just got obsessed with I want to do a character live show at some point. And off-road it, man, and use the stage for whatever we want to use it for. And so Summers hit him up 12 years later, and he goes, "Sounds fun, I'm in." I was like, haven't talked to him in 10 plus years. And then an hour before the show, he calls me and goes, "So what am I doing again?" And I go, "We built a fake nose. We're going to do a double dare thing with people from the crowd, and Jeremiah's going to come out and play a double dare kid, and I'm going to compete." And it's wild. And I go, "But I want to have in the ball pit at the end, like there'll be like sex toys instead of, you got to grab the flag out of the nose, and then you got to grab whatever sex toy pertains to you out of the thing." And he was like, "All right." And then I started explaining the game, and he quickly was like, "No, you can't do this if you don't do this. Someone has to say this, and then they have to double dare them back." Like I had fucked up the gameplay, and he was so like, "We got to do yeah." And then I go, "I wrote some trivia questions too," and he goes, "I'll write them." And then I go, "Awesome." And he wrote way better ones that were like kid friendly, which made it even funnier. Do you know what I'm saying? It was like, who won the NBA Finals last year? Or
you're talking to. I'm not saying I'm an aficionado of Double Dare, but he's right. You need the action.
Yes.
If someone's dominating that show, it's the worst show in all. That's why every third question is like Edgar Allan Poe's mother found 2 coins. Yeah. What year were the coins?
But question 1 was like, what's your favorite food?
Yeah. Are you here right now? Yes. Okay, that's $40. And then they have to fuck it up. It's brilliant. I love that. And he was great.
He was unbelievable. And he goes, he told great Comedy Store stories first. And then he even jabbed back at me. And at one point I go, "Wait, so Mark," as we're explaining, I go, so, and they're going to toss the ball in the hat. And then he goes, "Yeah." He goes, duh. And I go, "All right, I'm just trying to make sure we're on the same page." He goes, "Yeah, I just fucking said that, Phil." But in a fun way, it's getting laughs. And I go, "Jesus Christ, I'm getting roasted by the host of Cake Wars." And he goes, he corrected me. He goes like, it's cake mess, you dickhead, or something. And then he goes, "All right, on your mark." And it was like all super smooth.
On your mark, indeed.
Yeah, on your mark.
Mark on it.
Set. We had the music, and he's like commentating. I mean, it was truly, let's talk about childhood. I mean, I remember, dude, seeing a young boy, planes flying over the sky. Did you ever scream and go, "Take me to Disneyland," or was that a poor kid move in Seattle?
Take me to Disneyland?
Yeah.
Just because you saw an airplane?
Yeah.
Look, I'd love to join you with this one, but I think that's got a flavor that I'm not familiar with.
I felt very vulnerable in that moment.
We said that to our parents. We said, "Take me to Disneyland."
Well, you had 2. So, Mazel Tov, congrats. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. You're loving it. I was having it my way, which was not at any of those places. It was a Marie Callender's heated up pot pie from 2 weeks ago.
Which parent did you get?
Mom.
Yeah, that you gotta go with mom.
Got to.
Where's Dad?
Dad is now in Yakima, Washington.
We talked about this last time.
We might have, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Moved all around. He and Mom don't. It's wild. They are. Dad is more, "Hey, tell Mom this or that or whatever," versus Mom being like, "I mean, you bailed on me and started another family, so we're good." Which I get.
Yeah.
I get that. It's wild to get more of the story when you get older. Of course. Truly. And see, first of all, just seeing your parents as people is great. And I wish it happens quicker.
It's a good documentary. There's always a twist.
Yeah.
You go like, it turns out, like, let's say you think dad's the bad guy, then you find out mom's the bad guy. And then you find out no one was a bad guy. But no one was a saint either, probably.
No, yeah. I know there are two sides.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, I guess, and I've never gave, more maybe thought to like that somebody was like that. Even though my dad, all that happened, and my mom was like, all right, if you're going to go see him, that's your dad. I never want you to not have a relationship with him, but she was like, but I don't really need to be involved.
Good
and
for
then
her.
And then you realize once you get more of the story, you're like, oh, I totally get that. Why would you? But also, if he came over for a niece's birthdays or whatever, like super cordial and like, I'm not going to be
cordial.
She would always say, she goes, I'm not an animal. Like if he's going to come over for the kid's birthday, like I'm going to. But which is also wild because you're like
respect.
Yeah, respect. That's why she's a gangster. My mom is a true hero and goat, and her name's Puddin'. She's a little Oklahoma Jew.
Who would have thought in 1985 that calling your mom a goat would be like, wow, you love your mom?
I know.
Back in the 80s, that meant the barn animal. The worst stand-up in the world. Why is he calling someone a goat is a good thing?
Why did we? Oh, greatest of all time.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
why?
yeah.
I for a second was like, why did we pick that animal to attach
We
it
didn't.
to? We didn't.
It was just an acronym. We were guided by the acronym.
What's your favorite acronym?
Mine?
Oh,
wait,
the other guy behind you. Can you excuse me? The fuck, Pete Holmes?
Dr. Phil, that's a time buying maneuver. I know
You
you're
can learn a
talking
lot about somebody by who their favorite Ninja Turtle is, what their favorite acronym is, and what their go-to snack would be before they go to bed. If they're given a magical fridge, imagine waking up, you smoke a fat blunt, right?
In the morning?
Sure.
Yep.
You turn on some Love on the Spectrum.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just to kind of let yourself know that life is wild, right? And
just a window to another time.
Just a window to another time.
Yeah.
It's like watching Rookie of the Year back to back. You go, I know the kid, can't. Yeah, I know. I didn't know you did impressions.
Oh, I got a good one.
How many more Thomas Ian Nicholas impressions can you do?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Nice.
I don't know what your New Year's resolutions are, but if it's not to get a bidet, a tushy bidet in your life, then you're doing it wrong. Everybody out there listening, you need a bidet. You need a bidet. You need a tushy bidet. Wiping your butt with some paper and calling it a day is not enough. Get some nice, pressurized, warm water on your butthole. You heard it here first. I hope you didn't hear it first. I hope you already have a tushy bidet. Guys, if you're convinced that the best version of yourself is what you are right now when you don't have a bidet, you're wrong. All that hair, the spicy wigs, come on, do yourself a favor. Get a bidet. It's a resolution that isn't a pain in the ass. Tushy bidets fit on your toilet in under 10 minutes, improving your health and saving you time and money every time you bomb that bowl. And what point did we decide having like a plunger in a wet grocery bag just sitting by your toilet was okay? It's not okay. And since I've had this Tushy bidet, using way less toilet paper, which is great for the environment, great for my bod, it also means so many fewer clogs. I haven't had one. No more clogs because you don't use as much paper. It's amazing. Often the paper is just an afterthought. You understand? You're just kind of checking the work, and the work is good. I love my Tushy bidet. It is a game changer. Once you try it, you're going to be grossed out that you ever didn't have one because it's so much more clean, it's so much more hygienic, and it's honestly just the only way to do it. Tushy is the modern bidet attachment that instantly transforms your bathroom habits and your butt health for life. The Tushy bidet easily attaches in under 10 minutes. No need for additional plumbing or electricity. Washing with the precise stream of fresh water removes 99% of bacteria compared to wiping with toilet paper. Think about it. If you had poop on your hand, would you just wipe it with paper? You gotta get water in the mix. Get water in the mix. Installation is simple. Takes about 10 minutes. Tushy bidet gives you 2-in-1 benefits, reducing irritation and preventing micro tears with soothing water instead of scratchy toilet paper. And you gotta do it. I think I've oversold it. Just do it. Support the show and support your butthole. Instantly improve your health from the bottom up. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first bidet order when they use code WEIRD at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with promo code WEIRD. We're also brought to us by our friends at Magic Mind. No surprise, got a box right here on my table. It is the biggest life hack game changer I have ever discovered. You see me talking about it on social media. Why? Because I fucking love Magic Mind so much. It is a performance drink. It is not just coffee. It's not just going to shoot you to the moon. It's got matcha, which is just the right amount of caffeine. It's got adaptogens, which help you calm down and relax and feel natural. It's got nootropics, which help you think, or nootropics, depending on who you ask how to pronounce that. And it even helps your immunity, and it tastes fantastic. I take a Magic Mind always 15 minutes before I go on stage, 15 minutes before I do this podcast. I even sometimes take one in the middle of the day just because it's a wonderful little boost. A little bit of caffeine, about as half a cup of coffee, but the adaptogens smooth you out, dial you in. Don't expect jittery, expect focused. It's like flow state in a bottle, and you can get 20% off by going to magicmind.com and using promo code WEIRD. Let me make sure I have that right. Sorry, guys, another edit. Fudge, I'm a little rusty. Yeah. 20% off your first order using promo code WEIRD at magicmind.co. That's magicmind.co. Use promo code WEIRD for 20% off. Back to the show.
Thomas Ian. Was he on your show too?
No, but
Look,
we had
I
him on
don't
the
mean
pod
to-
back in the day. Brad did a music video with him, and then all of a sudden, like, asked him to do the pod, and he texted me, he goes, "You want Thomas Ian Nicholas on the pod?" I go, "Yeah."
He knew who you meant. You didn't have to say Rookie of the Year, Thomas Ian Nicholas.
Yeah, he knew that I knew. That's one of my favorite baseball movies.
That is he chosen? Because he's got that Italian Jewish thing going
He does.
on.
He's got to be.
You are a Thomas Ian. That's why. See, I'm
could be brothers.
I'm JTT, and that's my favorite acronym. Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Wow. Quick JTT story.
Hit it with the big bat.
So, at my fraternity USC, go across the street. I was in A Pi, go across the street to Sigma Chi, where JTT was a brother. And
What?
And I go in, and one of my friends in my acting class was in there. I go to the party. I go into the bathroom at one point. Somebody even said earlier, JTT's here. I don't think he went to the school, but he was friends with guys that were in the frat, so he was always there partying, apparently.
Oh, wow.
So, by the way, hadn't met a celebrity yet. This is year one of being in LA, and I'm in college. So, yeah, you've got, like, you know, the heir to Kinko's is there.
Yeah.
The heir to Dillard's. Maybe Jerry Jamba's there of Jamba Juice, right?
Yeah.
And,
Jerry Jamba.
And so you're around that, but no real, like, I mean, home improvement. So I'm in the bathroom. Yep. And hold that grunt. And I'm in the bathroom at the urinal, and I'm not sober. And I am not yet trained or savvy in the seeing people you aren't used to seeing in places you haven't seen them or thought you would see them.
Yeah.
What's that acronym? Where's Rick Glassman?
Oh, I could do it. I just wasn't listening in that way.
It's okay. You can do that too.
I'm not as good as he is, but I'm pretty good. We sang the song "Since You've Been Gone" in acronyms when he was on the show.
Wow.
SYBG. Keep going.
Anyway, to the bride and groom. I was like, that was their speech?
That's like Kevin Nealon. Where's our waiter? That's like an anytime bit.
I love
got
it.
a great
I've got
anytime bit.
I was looking for a name for it. I've
Yeah,
got
an anytime bit.
Let me put a pin in the
No, what happens? Are you peeing on JTT's shoes right now?
So
Oh no, put a pin in it. I won't forget.
I'll get back to the anytime bit because you're the perfect person to talk about that with. So I look over and I see him, and in my head I just go, "Get the fuck out of here!" And now I'm just like, and I probably everything I'm thinking that I'm internalizing, I probably did. So I probably went, "Get the fuck out of here!"
Of course, yeah.
And then
I was
probably
gonna
went, "Wow," as he's next to me.
Yeah.
No real divider. I don't know if it was a frat trough, but it was a frat bathroom.
Yeah.
And great band name. And so I just go, and I know at this point in the story you're going, "No, you didn't." "Hey, Pete." "Yeah, I did." I thought
He would love it.
I thought he'd love it. I thought he would
Dicks
love
in
it.
hand, no divider.
No divider. Dixon. Wow. Are you sure that's not a Kelly Clarkson song?
Dicks in hand, no divider.
I don't know if that's the title, but it's the start of the song.
Yeah. Dicks in hand.
It's a song about me screwing up a potential friendship with JTT. He verbatim goes, "Wow." Nice. And then looks up and goes, "Hey, man." And I go, "This is wild." And then he goes, "Yep, peeing." And then I was like, and then I don't think I said anything. And then he zipped up and walked out. And I go, "Have a great party, man." And then he Which, you don't need to say anything at that point. But I felt like give him some sort of a well wish, which was, I guess I also could have gone with hope I see you here again, or did it all come out okay? But I said have a great party, man. He didn't return the favor, walked out, said bye on the way out. One of my friends came up and said, "Did you accost JTT in the bathroom?" I was like, "No." I was like, "Oh, one of my friends just came up and said like your buddy was grunting at him in the fucking bathroom." So word traveled fast. But
Look, of all the bits that don't translate to the bathroom, with dicks in hand,
yeah,
is probably the first one.
I wish I would have just sang the whole theme song.
And then slowly oscillate towards him. So while you're singing it, we hear the sound of pee on tile, and then shoes. And then you 360, tile, back to urinal, and you go, flush.
Oh, flush! Pete Holmes, this is your podcast.
Oh, I understand. It's your show. Okay, go ahead. It's your show. Weird callback.
He told a story about going to see Jurassic Park with O.J. Simpson 2 days before the murder happened. And I go, why the fuck were you hanging out with O.J. Simpson? And he goes, well, it was a big celebrity thing at the screening. It was like Nicole was there. And I go, Kidman? He goes, no, Brown Simpson. And then I go, what was she doing there? He goes, when they were together. I go, I was fucking joking, Jay. I read the fucking paper. And then I go, were there signs? Were there any signs? I mean, this is now like me through the makeup being like, this is wild.
Yeah.
You're just trying to
We're going to need details.
Be curious,
2
but also,
days before the murder,
wow.
you're with them together.
Yes, and I go, were there signs? Like, because now I'm like, be inquisitive and curious like Adam would, but like make the question sillier or whatever because you look like this.
Yeah.
So I go, were there signs like, at one point was she maybe laughing too hard at Jeff Goldblum? And he was like, bitch, if you don't stop laughing, I'm going to kill you in 2 days. And Jay goes, now that I think about it, I think he did say that. Completely goes along with it, which made me so happy.
Glove in the popcorn?
Yeah. Wow.
That is nuts.
That is nuts.
Okay, so we got a bunch.
Anytime
we have
bit.
the anytime bit, but we also have you running on the stage at Price is Right, and we also have,
I think that was it.
I think there's up there. Oh, Dwayne The Rock Johnson is my size.
Same body, yeah.
Same body.
My body, my choice. Dwayne's a great guy, big guy.
So big, it's not. I was going to interview him once, and he didn't show. I was interviewing the Fast and Furious cast.
Oh, cool.
No, this is not shots fired. It was just a press event.
Yeah.
But I was like, Dwayne The Rock Johnson is going to be here.
Yeah.
And
was it a whole cast thing?
It was a whole cast thing.
Wow.
And I am, pretty nervous to meet Vin Diesel. This is the beginning of my career.
Yeah.
The beginning
I
of that
think I'd
part
still
of my
be pretty nervous to meet Vin Diesel now.
Yeah.
Because he's a rapper now.
Is he?
I think.
Katie?
Didn't he come out with a song?
Hey.
Nobody wants to fully claim this.
What rhymes with Riddick? You think I'm ridiculous? I'm ridiculous.
You might not be too...
kill us.
Wow. You might...
I know you know Harry Mack, but you think I'm ridiculous.
Oh, my
Well, now
God.
ridiculous.
There's something really powerful about making that face after that rhyme. Like, no rapper has ever done that.
Do you know?
They usually step away and go, you pick up on what I did. But to go...
That's a rap thing. Get it?
Yeah.
And you hear, it's also my voice going, Riddick, kill us, like saying it in the background.
Oh, my God.
So what's...
It says he rapped before.
Oh, he rapped before.
Then became an actor. Okay.
But when I was going to meet Dwayne and then he canceled, I was relieved because if I was a 6 to be nervous to interview Vin Diesel, who ended up being delightful, I was off the charts, 12 out of 10 to be, because he's like a horse.
Yeah.
It's like talking to a mythic creature. And
Totally.
is that real? That's how I imagined it.
Yep.
Is it?
Yes, he is. I've only, we've chatted so much over the last 5 years.
So he's like available as a person?
He has become to me, for whatever reason,
No, I don't just
like a
mean
mentor.
to you, but really?
1,000%.
Oh, word?
Oh, yeah. He has given me advice.
Because you look pretty ripped. Is he telling you to do stuff?
No. Do I look ripped?
Yeah, to me.
I'm in maybe better shape than
Don't
I was
forget.
last time I was here. I'm not in that shape. I wish I was. No, it's all...
You too. I could train you.
I could train you. Oh, I thought maybe he was giving you tips.
No, I
Because I
mean-
remember when Kumail did that movie with Dave Bautista.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, well, that's probably when they were talking about what the fuck to do.
If we did another season of Young Rock and I had to do Vince McMahon like once he became like really big,
You would've
I definitely
done it?
got a trainer for that and tried to beef up, but more just to kind of just for a lot of reasons. But
Yeah.
there's a Vince that was definitely also probably on some stuff,
Of course.
And when there was talk of a fourth season, I was like, oof, am I gonna have to maybe? And I was talking to a guy that was about certain things, but it was right around the time when my wedding was also going to happen. So I was like, oh, I don't want to look like that in those pictures. But then
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I do, because that's a moment in time.
Yeah, but then
you're at the
you're
wedding
having a
looking
fight
like
and you're
that.
like, what happened to this? I married this. Someone I know used to write for WWE, and they said Vince McMahon used to hold like a cup that was like the cup that the energy powder drink used to come in. Like, so it would be like orange powder up to here. It'd add a little water and stir it up, and it'd be drinking like sludge that was like make your own energy drink.
That
but it was like,
sounds really familiar.
it was drink like 75 energy drinks.
He didn't know what a burrito was called. He'd be like, bring me another one of those chicken wrap, those roll-ups. And they're like, burrito? And he was like, whatever.
Do I come to where you work and knock the dick out of your mouth? Drinking his Tang.
We'll keep it in. Yeah, that
Keep
was...
it in, of course. If we're
that-
keeping, as he calls them, canes in, we'll take shots fired. You were probably playing that part before it was out, though. I'm not.
Yes.
This isn't that
it
show.
was. No, it
It's
was
not that show.
It was out before the doc and the allegations and all that. And
Yeah.
but it started to creep in, and I was even under the impression, and then later confirmed that like it was a little probably in my involvement in the show was scaled back some because of what
I
was
see.
happening.
I see.
Which was kind of a bummer, but just because he's such a prominent figure in that world. But it was like it was polarizing, so it was like
I'm not
and
trying
it's
to
a
be
family
funny.
show.
I know comedians that like have spent their whole lives hoping to play Bill. This is not
you
trying
say
to be
comedians?
like Kumail.
It sounds like you said comedians, and again, I have
Kumail is a comedian,
right.
A
And
chameleon.
so comedians also sound like his fan base, or maybe comics who love Kumail have their own like
Cuckoo heads.
fan page called Comedians,
Comedians
or people that were mentored
people that
by
were
Kumail.
inspired. We need to
inspired
get
by-
to that.
Yeah.
Fuck what I was gonna say. I just knew some a specific comedian that really wanted to play Bill Cosby in a movie. Still could, but I don't think people want to see that movie, dude. Anyway,
They don't, do they?
I don't think so. I mean, there's a chance you could do like a really.
I don't even know if I want to see the Lifetime movie on it. I want to see the Hallmark movie on it because I want to see Mario Lopez in it, just play like his
Yeah,
agent.
yeah, with the dimples.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the movie, just tells you what movies are available in your hotel room.
What a gig!
I don't know if you want that gig. I'm not saying you, Adam.
No.
I'm saying that's a tricky one because
Yeah.
once you become the face
hotel
of
movie
your
guy.
hotel,
You're
I
not
see him and I feel like I'm not at home.
right.
I feel like I need to find a small thing of toothpaste.
Oh, you do. You're like,
Tell me how The Rock is your mentor. I'm ending this riff.
okay,
Because we don't have that much time. We have 10 minutes.
That's fine. He and we got to get to anytime bits.
Yeah. So
He just as he was in the intro of the he did that for
Yeah,
me
yeah.
on a last minute thing, and but I've just naturally asked him for in a roundabout way only a few times. We sent a lot of voice notes and phone calls every now and then, but only met him live in the flesh once. And it was when he was doing Black Adam, and actually, we're in his trailer. There's a video on my Instagram. He was like, "We should make a video or something." Like a funny video. I was like, "Yeah." I mean, this is like new. I maybe had been messaging with him for a year and a half at this point, and so I was like,
wait,
yeah,
that's how you met him over the gram?
over Instagram.
And then you got the show?
Yes.
Nice.
I had sent him. I tagged him in a picture right when COVID hit. It was maybe 2 weeks in. I was like, all right, things are probably going to be shut down for a while. I need to find other ways to just be creative. And I was kind of taking the first initial thought as like, all right, I'm just going to shut everything down. I'm going to stop. Like, it seems like everyone's just going to stop. But then I needed to be creatively fulfilled. I also just was not shutting down. So I was like, oh, what can I maybe do? Whether it's little videos or whatever. And then I saw this picture of the Gwyneth Paltrow vagina candle, and I was like, "Oh, just
Any candle can smell like a vagina if you give me 5 minutes with it." In this riff,
Wow,
Dr.
using
Phil
it.
has a
Yeah,
vagina.
yeah.
You can have that. I put a bow on that for you. I'll even write from Santa, so it's disguised.
Wow.
Because I don't want anything to do with it.
Wow. Did you write letters to Santa?
Did I write letters to him? No, and I didn't ask planes to bring me to Disneyland, man. I'm just like fucking hitting up mom and dad. I doubled down on the bet.
I'm so glad I told you that because that's a very honest, sad thing that I need to find a way to bring up on stage.
That's
screaming at the plane, take us to Disneyland. That sounded so innocent to me, and you were like, "I bet you also ate soup with a fork."
Hold up, I think now I understand. I think maybe we.
It was the idea of seeing a plane flying over you.
Just take us somewhere we want to go. Yeah.
But there might have been a little more,
Take us to Disneyland.
Come on.
Yeah.
Right?
We saw all choppers as rescue choppers.
Yeah.
You know your life is rough when every chopper you see is a rescue chopper.
Arby's is 2 letters away from being Barb's. And everybody's been to a Barb's, and everybody knows what she's about.
Do you know why Arby's is called Arby's?
I am so excited for this answer.
Roast beef, Arby's. Let's go get some Arby's.
What?
I don't know if that's real, but the internet's full of more harmful misinformation than that.
It really is. How come that can't get like top billing?
Katie, give it a goog, please.
Katie, give it a goog.
Katie, please give it a goog. Is it Arby's because it's Arby's? Okay, tell me how.
So Rock, I post a picture of the Gwyneth Paltrow, and I go, Rock. I'm thinking, I go, who's the male equivalent that's come out with a dick and ball candle? I go, because this should not be, equal rights, whatever. And I post and I tag the Rock, and I never tag anybody.
Yeah.
And I just did it, and then all of a sudden I get all these texts and DMs like, how do you know the Rock? And I was like, everybody knows the Rock. What are you talking about? And then I look at the thing, and he had commented on it, and then followed me, and I was like. And by the way, we're sitting around, it's wife and I, we're drinking, we're smoking, we're just like, we're probably never going outside again. And like, she's like, holy shit, most famous person that's ever followed me. And
I thought you were going to say that's ever lived, because that might be it.
Well, I don't know, George Washington was pretty famous.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson checks into hotels as Tom Cruise for privacy.
Wait, do it as Jay Leno.
This is interesting. Did you know that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, when he checks into a hotel, he actually uses the name Tom Cruise for privacy? Anyway, when you wear jeans, you should wear a jean shirt, because then you look like a Sasquatch that's made out of Levi's. The Levi Yeti.
Okay, what do we got?
Apparently women.
It's not.
No, it stands for, I don't know how you say it, but Raffel brothers.
Okay.
Who invented the rest.
Bummer.
Fuck. All right. So now how does he meant you?
Again, just I think me in a roundabout way, when he's just asking me about what's going on, and then I think we've gotten to a point to where he appreciates. He's seen me from at that point when after I sent him a message and said, I don't know if this audition came from you for Vince McMahon, but appreciate it. And he, I was actor first and then started doing stand up, but he just really liked my tape, and then we talked about it for a little bit, and then he was like, give me your best Vince McMahon impression. I was like, you're fired. And then he was like, congrats, you got the job. You definitely got to fucking lose some weight. He didn't say that, but my old boss at Universal did when I was Wolverine. And
he's like, trim that fat and I'll eat it and burn it off before lunch. I need calories.
Good Rock.
What's it?
A little nasally.
I can't even think of how he sounds.
He is just, he appreciates what we're doing. He first of all loves comedy, and he is just a true created what he has become and what he does and what he is from his hard work, man.
Yeah.
And that there is no replacement for the reps, and that is a true example of it. And I think he, just saw that in me.
Representation, like his reps.
Yes, his reps.
The repetitiveness
going at it. And
he
grinding.
has the feeling, I mean this is a compliment, of like a beat cop. Like someone who walked the beat and found the big case.
Totally.
Because he was like, time to lean, time to clean, and to walk around Central Park.
It's wild. Totally. It's also wild to go, you were even wrestling was not guaranteed for him, and how he found his way in that. And then think about the amount of people that have tried to translate from anything to another aspect of our business. So it is pretty...
Neil Diamond to porn.
Yeah. Did he do it?
It worked.
No way.
Diamond in the Buff.
Oh,
I didn't know where it was going.
You're too good at that. And if you do one more title that should have been a title, I'm going to tell you, you missed your window.
I did.
And calling.
I did. What a pain.
Wait. So many good. Oh, man.
Window puns?
Window puns?
Yeah. Keep going. Feel free.
What's your favorite anytime bit?
Oh.
Let's get to that.
The reason I do love anytime bits, we don't have much time remaining, but to Yes and You, I'm a big fan of, I've said this before, but if I'm backstage and you're dressed as Dr. Phil at the Comedy Store, I'll say, all right, Adam, go put on what you're going to wear for the show. I just think that's...
Love.
I think it's so funny.
Love.
And maybe when you tell me about yours, I'll think of more.
I like to do, when somebody starts, so I'll go, Pete, where'd you get that jacket?
This was an old sponsor of the
Does
show.
the story get better?
That is so good.
But I have to like not cut you. It's got to be. It's got to be time where they go like, so Pete, where'd you get that jacket? If you were like,
Well,
yeah,
I think...
you give me, and as soon as there's a little beat of a
Yeah.
window, because if I'm cutting you off, it's not funny. There's got to be.
Let's
the
do it
little
again, do it
space.
again.
Yeah. Pete, where'd you get that jacket at?
Well, I have a couple...
Does this story get better? Yeah,
That was perfect.
Yeah. It's fun.
And
And
you
it-
just reminded me of one. One of my anytime bits that people know, especially if you listen to the Friday episodes of this podcast, because I say it with Val all the time. I go, this is boring, but it's almost over. Because I use it all the time. It's this little sonar ping to let you know that I know that what I'm saying hasn't yet become interesting.
Right.
But at least it's almost over.
Right.
But I'm telling you, it's usually like telling you about my feelings. And that's when I realized like a lot of my drive for success was actually a feeling of obligation. Like I had to, this
Yeah.
is boring, but it's almost over. You know, like you put it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's an anytime bit.
I love that. I also love somebody will go like Joe DeRosa he did the Dr. Phil show in Philly, and he goes, I go, what was the first joke you did that that bombed? And he tells a story, and then he goes, you want to hear the first joke I did that crushed? I go, no, I'm all right. Joe, when you were 5,
That's very good.
and I've done that now on a handful of pods, even as me, just because it's a funny. It's just so funny to me because someone's so excited, like, oh, I just did this guy Nick Vial's podcast. He was a bachelor, and his wife's on the pod with, and she goes, oh, do you want to hear like what we just did with our kid? And I go, no, I'm good. But Nick, when you,
It's so funny.
yeah, but only if people, it's got to, rapport needs to be established because that out of the gate can be taken as, and she jokingly was a little, like, but
I've had that happen.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a non-comedian. Not to say I'm just saying a non-comedy person,
Yes.
not even a comedian.
Yeah.
Like a musician. And I was doing, I was on stage and I still think about it. It was 20 years ago. They interjected and I was like, I got it from here or something like that. But I was joking.
Yeah.
And they were like upset with me. And I was like, what? What?
God, to not be in the bit boat. What's it like? You're just swimming in the ocean.
Yeah.
Get in the bit boat.
Get in the bit boat. The bit boat will keep you nice and dry.
Real quick question. I know we got to wrap this up. I just had a flashback to when I ran into you and Glenn Hansard at a dive bar in. Oh yeah. I don't know where it was, but I don't know if you had a spot you went to with him.
No,
You were in a
because
back corner,
he's not
and
here enough. I would
Okay.
love to see him.
That is
More.
that's in my top, no joke, 5 favorite movies of all time, and
Yeah.
I might even bump it to 3. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, it's one of my faves too.
It is?
Oh, I love it. And I
And-
saw it right when I got divorced. Can you imagine? Can
Holy
you imagine getting
shit.
divorced and then the movie Once comes out? You're like, am I a solipsist? Does the universe revolve around me? Because that's the exact medicine you need.
I'm going to see your divorce film timeliness and raise you imagine going to see Mrs. Doubtfire 2 weeks after your folks split. Who's got 2 thumbs and did that?
Oh, hello.
I went to it and I'm sobbing because
Yeah,
I'm
of
like, I
course.
feel like I just saw this fight 2 weeks ago. My buddy's, it was his birthday. His dad took us for pizza and a movie. I'm like, in the trailer, it's like, oh, hello, and like a run by fruit.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
like, what
yeah.
another classic Robin Williams comedy.
yeah.
And then the opening scene is Sally Field being like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Why did you do this?
And we're back to Double Dare dads because what actually I find it emotional when I see a dad with fucking 80s glasses that
Yeah.
are back in style
Yeah.
with hunchback and he's bald and he's just like ha ha, ha but he's doing it.
Yeah, he's doing
he's
it.
doing it for his kids.
Yes.
He's going through the slop looking for the flag.
Yeah.
And I'm moved by that. And Mrs. Doubtfire is a movie about a dad making the effort to connect.
Totally.
So whether or not your dad was there or not, I think the reason why that movie resonates so strongly
Yeah.
with everybody
Yeah.
is like you just want to connect to these people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you want them to want to connect by any means necessary.
1,000%. I was
Yeah.
crying in 5th grade, and my buddy looks over and goes, are you okay? I go, yeah, it's just so funny.
Yeah, that's
It's just so funny.
That
And then we
is-
get out, and I was also like, but that's
Adam. That was so good of you to shoot that. It's just so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
just to try. I know.
It's just so funny.
I had to say something.
It's the guy that says the porno is just hilarious. You got to see it. It's hilarious. He's got a cape on.
Then you
Oh, is
hide
that why
your-
you watch it? Oh yeah, I mean the sex is like it's always fun,
This
but
tape is run ragged. It's just the laughs.
it's just the last. Wait, what's the movie that he said that he burnt out? So it's like the only thing. I lost my Blockbuster card, and like I would go to. In the Army now, it's like the copy's always gone. So it's just like, oh, I'll watch Diamond in the Snuff
I
again.
want to watch Son-in-Law.
It's great.
Paulie.
It's a great movie. He had a run.
He had a run.
You had a comedy movie run
Yeah.
where you were the lead. That is
Yeah. Paulie was one of the sodas.
great way.
Isn't that's a great way to you're one of the reasons we get along is you're like one of those visual thinkers.
1,000%.
He's one of those sodas. He was one of the sodas.
Yeah.
You know how like Coke Zero just snuck on there?
Well, now
How'd you get in there?
Now you go to the theater and it's like Coke Zero. It's like purple Coke Zero, orange Fanta with
Used
Coke
to
Zero.
be there was 8.
Yeah.
And you got to give oranges due. Orange is like the mafia. It's like no one's drinking it, but you got to have them on there.
Well, if you are doing Sunkissed, Crush, or Fanta?
Yeah, for sure.
Which
and
one?
if it's Sunkissed, for sure.
Yeah, it is.
You're a Fanta guy?
No, I'm a Sunkissed guy.
Yeah. But Coke Zero did sneak into. What did it bump? I think it might have.
Mr. Pibb. Pibb was on the outskirts. Pibb was like that stripper. Pibb was on
Pibb's
the
up there.
outskirts. Bargs was coming through. No one saw it coming. Here's A&W. There's another one I can't think of.
A root beer that you try. When we can't think of the riff, just look up towards the sky.
Coke Zero's in the air.
Coke
Zero if you care.
It's better than Diet Coke, but people got addicted to it, so they have to leave it on there too. Like Coke Zero is better than Diet Coke.
It is.
If Coke Zero had come out instead of Diet Coke, there'd be no Diet Coke. But we got addicted to the bad.
Yeah, the bad one.
It doesn't taste good.
It doesn't.
But we fucking love it.
Why?
I'm mad at me for saying it's bad.
Why? Yeah.
We love it.
The taste, they left a little something out that Coke Zero gave you.
Oh yeah, the spice.
The spice.
Diet Coke tastes like a butter knife. It tastes like licking a cold butter knife. And that is exactly, I'm proud of myself
I just
today.
saw a flash to you at the Thanksgiving table in front of your kids. And like, maybe they're in their 20s, maybe it's 30s. And the conversation has just taken a turn, not for better or for worse. It's just gears have been shifted.
Yeah.
And somebody says, I haven't had it in a while. It's like a Fanta. And you go, first of all, it's Fanta. Second of all, Diet Coke sucks. It tastes like a butter knife. Get me another mashed potato bar.
And bring me a Coke Zero. It made the Mount Rushmore. Because the fucking soda fountain in the 80s was the Mount Rushmore of taste.
And
Sprite, Coke, Diet Coke.
and get my grandkids indoors. Tell them to stop screaming at the planes like poor people. We'll go to Disneyland next spring break.
I bought tickets to Disneyland and burned them to be warm. I burned tickets to Disney to be warm. Throwing in custom mouse ears with the sewn-on nickname.
Oh my God.
I don't give a fuck. I pee in the secret tree Pluto comes out of.
Yeah, everyone's got a JTTP story. No.
All right. We closed out all the loops except you running on the stage, but listen to you on Barstool Sports for that one. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, who gives a shit?
So confirm for me, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's a serial killer. JK. We'll go watch Dr. Phil.
Adam Ray is Dr. Phil Unleashed on Netflix. And then go to adamraycomedy.com for all my stand-up tour dates. And we have 20 more theater shows for the Dr. Phil Live show. We just did the Celebrity in Arizona last weekend. Which was a blast. We had Sam Morril, Ari Matty, Adam Carolla, and Murr from the Jokers, and then we did San Diego Civic Theater, and then we did the Beacon.
Does this story get better?
We'll be right back. We'll keep her right here. At the Beacon, Jason Biggs came out. Jeremiah dressed up as a pie. They reunited. Curtain came up. He goes, "Hey, I'm sorry, I haven't." This is all on YouTube. YouTube.com/Adam Ray Comedy. He comes out. I go, "Jason, you've kept in touch with a lot of people from the cast: Tara Reid, Sean William Scott, Stifler's mom. One person you haven't brought him here to reconnect, close the door, and get things going in the right direction. Please welcome from American Pie, the Pie." Comes out, full costume outfit that Steven Hauser built from the Comedy Store. Shout out.
Wow.
Comes out. Jason's like, "Hey." Jeremiah's like, "Hey, you look good. I'm sorry I didn't call." "No, you've been busy. Congrats on your movies." And then he goes, hey, come here. Does this behind the ear. I forgot how good you taste. Jeremiah goes, let me refresh your memory. Curtain goes up, fake fireplace on the screen, bed comes out, rose petals, they strike the chairs and the table. Johnny Resnick, dun, 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 from Goo Goo Dolls, and I'd give up forever. They get on the bed and simulate fucking for about 4.5 minutes. Whipped cream was in the thing, squirted into the first 4 rows. Johnny and I are singing the song together, the whole crowd singing. And then Johnny and Jason run off, and then I'm just going to Jeremiah. We always close the show with a fake fight, and I go, and he goes, so Dr. Phil, you want sloppy seconds? I go, I'm on Atkins. And he goes, doesn't look like it. And that was supposed to be the point when I start punching him with the fake punches. Crowd starts chanting. 3,000 people at the Beacon Theater in New York City start chanting, fuck that pie, fuck that pie. So in my head, I go, all right, I either have to push him over and simulate fucking him or kiss him. So I drop the mic, kiss him. Everyone goes nuts. Biggs, because he's a brilliant committer and actor, runs out on stage and goes, leave her alone. And I go, fuck you, Jason Biggs. Boom. Punch noise, perfect. He flies back onto the bed. Pie comes at me. Now I'm just fighting them both.
This sounds like, and then you and I, we cut to,
Yeah.
It's the same shot,
Yes.
but we're in a nursing home.
Yeah.
You and I are both in our 90s. Katie's a nurse. We're not on a podcast. None of this happened. And I'm just like, you're the king, Adam. You're the king.
Jason Biggs was there. He was fucking Jeremiah Watkins.
That sounds amazing. Tell me more about Jaleel White.
The Goo Goo Dolls were there. I used to scream at the planes and say, take me anywhere but here, Baskin Robbins, IHOP, Target.
It's one of the sodas. You know what I mean. Oh, my God. I really have to go. Adam.
Remember when Zac Efron was a comedy movie star? I love you so much,
Thank
Pete.
you for doing it.
I love you.
Say keep it crispy for us.
Guys, you know what to do. Keep it crispy.
Oh, my God. We got to feel crispy.
We got to feel crispy.
Great, now
That's
I owe
my,
you-
that's
now
my
I owe
Xbox
you-
screen name.
I
Feel
owe you-
crispy.
I owe you $50K.
You made it weird, you made it weird, you made it weird, oh yeah. You made it weird, you made it weird, you made it weird, oh yeah. You made it weird, you made it weird, you made it weird, oh yeah. You made it weird, you made it weird,